A few days after losing the Champions League final to PSG, the municipal police describe Arsenal's parade celebrating their Premier League title as the largest gathering in the country's history. In France, Aurélien Tchouaméni speaks for the first time about the wild altercation between him and Valverde. Welcome to 12th League Daily, the sharp daily roundup of football news. Red was in the spotlight in the British capital yesterday. The front page of the Daily Telegraph opens with a striking image: Arsenal's bright red open-top bus cutting through a human sea under the headline, "Painting the Town Red." More than 1 million supporters gathered to celebrate the Gunners' first Premier League title in 22 years. With more than 1.5 million people estimated, the Metropolitan Police confirms that Arsenal's parade is the biggest parade ever organised in the country. In The Times, midfielder Declan Rice also shows boundless ambition as he tells the crowd, "Next year we'll be back for even more." For Mirror Sport, this celebration shows that the heart of North London is still very much Gunner, despite the recent European disappointment. As you know, Arsenal missed out on a historic double by losing on penalties in the Champions League final against Paris Saint-Germain. That setback earned the Londoners harsh criticism from Sir Alex Ferguson. The Daily Telegraph reveals that Manchester United's legendary manager sent a cutting message to Nasser Al-Khelaifi, saying that the Paris club was the only team that actually tried to play football in that final, while condemning Mikel Arteta's ultra-defensive approach. To ease that pain and take his team to another level, Mikel Arteta is working the transfer market. Mirror Sport splashes on its front page Arsenal's strong interest in Aston Villa wonderkid Morgan Rogers, valued at £90 million and also tracked by PSG in order to strengthen their attacking options next season. While London is celebrating, Liverpool is panicking. It is one of the harshest turnarounds of the year. Arne Slot was dismissed as Reds manager last Saturday. Mirror Sport publishes the Dutch coach's farewell, in which he warmly thanks the Kop fans in an open letter, describing his spell as beyond special. Brought in with the huge task of replacing Jurgen Klopp, his first season ended with a title, but the second proved catastrophic, with a record of 20 defeats in all competitions. The Daily Telegraph explains that the decision was made by Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards after a data-led end-of-season review, with no consultation with the players, who widely supported their coach on social media, like captain Virgil van Dijk. The succession race is already underway. The Times and the Daily Telegraph agree that Liverpool have officially opened talks with Spaniard Andoni Iraola, free after leaving Bournemouth. While names such as Sebastian Hoeneß from Stuttgart and Pierre Sage from Lens are considered, Iraola remains the clear favourite, despite interest from Crystal Palace, AC Milan and Bayer Leverkusen. On the regulatory side, the Times highlight a crucial FIFA warning that could also affect the England team, FIFA's warning to England. Pierluigi Collina, FIFA's head of refereeing, has announced a drastic tightening of sanctions against grappling and wrestling inside the penalty area during corners and free kicks, explicitly targeting the defensive tactics previously used by Thomas Tuchel. Match officials will now be able to award goals for fouls committed by the attacking team before the ball is even played from a corner or free kick. This follows a special meeting of the International FA Board, the body that writes the laws of the game. Finally, as we mentioned in our previous review, Ibrahima Konaté is now free of contract after no agreement was made over an extension. He has officially said goodbye to Liverpool fans. He is being watched by many European heavyweights, including Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, and now Chelsea. Where do you think he will end up this summer? Tell us everything in the comments. Crossing the Pyrenees to the Iberian Peninsula, football news is literally being overwhelmed by the looming 2026 World Cup. The word locura dominates the front pages of both major Madrid dailies, Marca and AS. Thousands of supporters queued from 7 a.m. in Las Rosas to attend the national team's first open training session. The excitement is so huge that Federation officials, REFC, say they have never seen anything like it. The only shadow over it is the condition of the pitch at the Riazor Stadium, which is causing some concern. In Mundo Deportivo, coach Luis de la Fuente is brimming with optimism. He says, "I have the best players in the world," placing Spain among the very small group of legitimate favourites to lift the World Cup trophy. The big certainty concerns Lamine Yamal's fitness. The young FC Barcelona star admits in Sport that he feared missing the World Cup because of his injury. "When I got injured, I prayed inside not to miss the World Cup." Now recovered, he is following a specific preparation program alongside Nico Williams and Victor Muñoz so he can be ready from the first match. While the national team trains, the clubs are preparing their own big moves. Mundo Deportivo reveals a major transfer update concerning FC Barcelona. Despite Atletico Madrid's denials, the Catalan club confirms that it has indeed submitted an official €100 million offer to sign Julián Álvarez. The club prefers to handle the situation professionally, whatever Atletico says, and now is waiting for the Madrid club's response to the bid. According to Fabrizio Romano's information, the player has already clearly told the Colchoneros that he wants to leave, putting the club in a delicate situation despite his contract running until 2030. On the other side, in Madrid, Aurélien Tchouaméni, currently with the France squad preparing for the World Cup, returned in a press conference to the fight with Valverde a few weeks ago. He admits there was an altercation, but still refuses to call it a fight.
Évidemment, il s'est passé quelque chose, vous l'avez tous entendu, lu. Après, dans la presse, il y a eu de tout et n'importe quoi. J'ai entendu parler de bagarre, comme quoi j'aurais donné des coups ou quoi que ce soit, ce qui n'est pas du tout le cas. Après, je ne rentrerai pas dans les détails par rapport à ça. Le plus important, c'est que le club soit au courant de ce qui s'est passé. Et après, évidemment, on est allé de l'avant. Il y a plein de choses qui se passent dans un vestiaire qui ne sont pas censées sortir dans la presse ou quoi que ce soit.
Across the Alps in Italy, Serie A gives way to a gripping summer soap opera, combining managerial uncertainty and heightened tensions between coaches and players. It is full alert in Milan. Corriere dello Sport sums up the situation with an alarmist headline: "Milan, everyone is running away." The Rossoneri are facing an unprecedented wave of departures. Rafael Leal has already said his goodbyes. Now Adrian Rabiot and Luka Modric are also preparing to leave the ship, while goalkeeper Mike Maignan is seriously questioning his future. To steady the club, the search for a coach has become a headache, while Tuttosport points out that the Milan hierarchy is still notable for its lack of concrete decisions. La Gazzetta dello Sport is more optimistic, reporting that Austrian coach Oliver Glasner is ready to commit. In Naples, the atmosphere is just as volcanic. Christian Stellini, Antonio Conte's assistant, used the pages of Corriere dello Sport and Tuttosport to fire back sharply at Kevin De Bruyne's criticism of the team's playing style. "Take a lesson from Modric. You brought no joy to Naples," Stellini lashed out, adding that it was absurd for a player of that age to prioritise aesthetics over pure results. To recap, De Bruyne had said, "Yes, for me, it's a good thing that Conte left." In his view, Napoli too often played in a 5-4-1 and sat too deep in their own half, which resulted in insufficient attacking output. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. See you soon for the next episode of 12th League Daily.